Uh, Hi everyone. Amin, should we start the session?
Yeah, we can start.
Okay. So again, thanks for inviting me here. Hopefully, I'll be able to answer all the questions that you have for me, and the session is useful. I won't be taking a lot of time. Uh, so first, I'll start by briefly, brief intro about myself and till now what my journey has been and how I got placed into Amazon Lab 126. So my name is Vivek Kumar Singh, and I graduated long back in 2016. After graduation, I went to Delhi for preparing for civil services exams. So I was preparing for a few years in Delhi. Then I came back to Mumbai and started working in a couple of startups. After that, I joined Angel Booking, which is also known as Angel One now. So I was part of the order execution team there. I worked there for over 1.5 years. Then I started preparing for FANG companies, and uh, like uh, in between, I was able to clear other companies. I could not clear a few companies as well, and that's how I ended up. But first time when I cleared, I did not join Amazon because at Angel One I was getting like better salary, work wise it was better I felt, and then after 6 months I joined Lab 126 in Amazon, which is the device research and inventive arm of Amazon. So most of the products that you see, like Alexa, Kindle, they are all produced by the Lab 126 engineers. So yeah, I started working a year back in Amazon, and then I'm part of the operating systems team here. So anything that goes inside the device, all the softwares, anything related to that hardware, the Lab 126 team handles all of that. So I'm part of the operating systems team here, and yeah. So this is a bit about myself, and yeah, I'll like ask Amin if you can share the slides and I can like go through the questions if.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we can start with this question.
Okay. So why is securing a high-paying job in the tech industry not limited to specific engineering branches? Uh, so the question is like, why is it not limited to specific? And so looks like someone is not happy that it is not limited to specific branches. But at least what I have seen, like all the engineering branches have enough scope. Like given that they have the specialization, they do not face any problem. Especially like nowadays, we see that computer and IT related jobs are high paying. One thing is because by the time someone is graduating, they already have a lot of experience in that, creating projects, internships. They're very easy to find. All the learning resources that you want are already available online. So it is very easy to get high paying job in CSIT. But again, since the resources are already available, it's not restricted to particular branches. Anyone can go through them, read them, and secure high paying jobs. So I think that is why it is not limited to specific engineering branches. Yeah. If anyone has any questions, they can also post in comments. I'll try to address them as well.
Yeah, what they actually meant is they are not learning anything related to development or anything in mechanical or civil engineering, but
Mm-hmm.
still people are going to tech fields.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Tech fields as in.
I think software development.
Okay. Okay. So yeah,
So
as I
how
said.
how how they are doing that? For example, even you studied your bachelor's in electronics, right?
Correct.
Yeah. How was your transition from electronics to?
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they meant.
Okay, okay. So, getting into computer science for any branch is relatively very easy. As I had mentioned, that the learning resources are already available if someone wants to read them, and there is a lot of scope in CSIT and very less requirement from the student himself. Like for example, if you want to learn electronics, you will have to invest in maybe Arduino, Raspberry Pi, and all those hardware stuff, which sometimes get costly. But for computer science related fields, all you need is computer with internet, and you are all set to learn whatever you want. You can create any project. So I think that is why like all the branch have the equal opportunity to compete for those high paying jobs. Okay. So second question is, what are the current industry high-paying roles and companies for recent graduates? Okay, and this is in respect to management ranking. Okay, so I am mostly aware about the development-related companies, that is software development-related companies. I know a few people who are also in management. Rest of the things I'm not much aware, but okay. So for development related companies, Fang are the ones that first come to mind. They are the ones who pay like good salaries even for the recent graduates and freshers. Apart from Fang, like if you don't take them just by the Fang company names, there are other companies that are equally good, and sometimes they pay even more. Like if you know, like Uber, Microsoft, and all those companies pay really well for like the software graduates, and the roles that are in high demand, mostly SDE roles that are there. Then the trend is for applied scientist role. If you are interested in data science, uh, all these big tech companies are hiring for that, and at least in Amazon, that is known as applied scientist roles, which is a specialization in that. Then there are data analyst roles as well. So all these roles pay well. For management side, if you are a tech graduate, or even if you're not and you have an MBA degree, there are project management and product management related roles. So these are not people management, but the product itself, how they managing the timelines, what are the requirements. All these things are managed by the program and product management team. So they are also high paying jobs, and I know that they like after MBA they are recent graduates and still they pay like really well. So yeah. Okay. How do hiring procedures differ between high paying and low paying companies? Okay. So low paying company, as in like, I mean, can you like explain this?
Like company in some placement rights, they don't ask DSA questions.
Okay.
Yeah, companies like that.
Okay. So you have basic knowledge of what is the difference between the hiring procedures, but mostly, yeah. If you are looking for looking at the companies, service-based companies, they don't ask you DSA, or maybe only a little programming related stuff. That is because on job they will be giving training, so they don't expect anyone to know anything except for very basic problem solving ability maybe. I have seen that they will ask palindrome related questions and string concat questions, like very basic questions. All they care about is what were the percentage and what was the CGPA in your degree. With that, you'll be eligible for those companies, and that should be enough. Like, uh, if you are well versed with basic aptitude related questions, you can clear those companies. For high paying ones, as you said, they require DSA practice. Also, getting selected for those roles is a little difficult, but the procedure is um, uh, for high paying companies. I would assume you mean FANG related ones. So, first they will have Algo DS round. Mostly that will be an online round if it is Google. The first round will also be taken by a Google engineer, and so yeah, it will be heavily on DSA side for recent graduates. And as you uh, okay, I'll address the questions in the comments later. So as you gain more and more experience, you will be expected to demonstrate your low-level design and high-level design related experience. But for recent graduates, I think focusing on data structure algorithms, basics of how operating system works, networking should suffice, and a bit of digital communication, but again heavily on data structures and algorithms because that is where problem solving abilities tested by these companies. So this is the major difference. Yeah. Can you explain entire hiring procedure in my companies and how to excel in it? Okay. So, so if you are targeting any of the companies among man, I can specifically say about Amazon. So the for first round they would ask you, and I'm telling you for the SDE role directly, not for the intern role. Um, like I can explain intern role later on. So for SDE role, the first would like for me it was a hacker rank test, and they asked two questions. Both questions were DSA related question. So the I don't remember exactly, but one was graph related one, like graph traversal. You can solve it with DFS or BFS. After you solve that problem, you also have to write a paragraph about why you decided to use a particular algorithm and like basic explanation of what your solution is doing. So that is the first round. Mostly it will be a graph related question, a basic DP or uh, yeah, tree or graph related question only. And you can, and that is on HackerRank platform, which I got. Some people also get other platforms like Codility, etc. But I got HackerRank one. So that was the first one, first round. For the second round, again, like there are two more algorithm and data structure rounds where you can expect like medium level problems which you can solve on lead code. Like most of the problems that you will face, I believe you can find on lead code. So if you have around 200 to 250 questions solved from lead code, like top 250 questions, you should be in a good position to clear all those. Like even if the question is not exactly same, you will be in a position to get to the correct answer from the previous. You'll be able to recall some ideas which you can use in the current problem statement, and you'll be able to solve because uh, all the DSA related problems you can segregate into major categories like if it is a binary search problem, if it is DP, graph or related algorithms. So by 250 questions, you will be solving enough to practice each of them. So those two rounds after the first round, they are like first round is just online one. Those two rounds after that are called on-site rounds, and they are again AlgoDS rounds. And after that, like in my case, I had low-level design since I had some experience. So there was an LLD round as well, in which you will be asked questions like design a parking lot system, lift system, or it would be basically testing how you structure your class, what all APIs are you providing. So LLD you can find out on like Google as well. They are mostly similar questions. they mostly test how you structure your code and how you are planning for, like, let's say in future you have to add a new functionality, how you are going to add that without like rewriting all of the code, so that it is readable by others as well and it is maintainable. So that is the LLD round which is tested. And then there will be a bar raiser round as well. So at least in Amazon, what happens is you will be hired only when you are raising the current bar for that particular role. So let's say you are getting hired for SDE 1, and if you raise the bar of SDE 1, then only you will be hired. And the bar raiser round is taken by some senior engineer or a senior manager who has taken at least 100 interviews at Amazon for that particular role. So he has better idea if he is, like, the candidate who is interviewing is actually raising the bar or not. So that is the bar raiser round, and after that, like in 5 to 6 or 7 days, like, you will get the result whether you are shortlisted or not. So that is the procedure for Amazon that I'm aware. A similar procedure is followed by other companies as well, but yeah, for Amazon, I am aware of this. Okay, what's the knowledge level required for internship compared to full-time jobs? Okay, so like, I have recently started taking interviews at Amazon. Also, I had taken some courses before taking interviews, so they are mostly focused on uh, how do we test like the candidate's knowledge based on the problems that we'll be asking. So we have a set of leadership principles that we look for while the candidate solving the problems, as well as the problem solving related capabilities that we test for. So we all Amazonians who are going to interview, we all have a set of parameters that we look for. You can look for the Amazon leadership principles online, it is available. So every now and then in interviews one is asked that. And specifically for internships, like, what internships, like, if your college is allowing you internship positions to like for the last semester or last year, if you are able to. So what happens in internship is they are given a project and they have to implement that and present it to the team. So at internship, we look for a person who can, like, if we provide him or her with enough information and hint, he will be able to drive the project to completion. And interns are expected to ask doubts during interview or during internship period. They are not expected to be like experts in any algorithm. We mostly test that they are aware of data structural algorithms, so they can decide on what all options they have when implementing a project, and based on they drive the project. For full time, we expect that the candidate has prior experience of developing some kind of software. Let's say in previous internship, they are able to complete the project without much help from other SDEs. So that is the basic difference. Like at internship, you will be mostly like tested on your algo nothing else. But on full time, for full time job, we'll also look for a person who can drive the project to completion. Yeah. Okay, when it comes to a career in tech, should we focus on a specific domain or mastering any programming language? Okay, I think like if I have to decide, I'll go with specific domain, because programming languages keep on changing. You will see that like in the past, mostly people were using Java. Now Node.js is also, like, the JavaScript language is also there. I have, like, for major part of my career, I have worked on C++ and C, and a bit of Python. So these things, programming languages are just a tool for you to complete your project or particular task. Domain specific, you know, like focusing on a domain, I think that is better. Once you decide a domain, you can then find out what all language or any specialization that comes towards gaining more like mastery of that domain, you can keep on learning. But programming language, I think, should be based on the domain that you want to go for. Let's say if you want to go for data science, it's better to go for Python. If you are into systems programming, it's better to go for C, C++. If you are going in backend, Java or like other languages like node related languages, Go language can be like you can learn all that language. Yeah. Okay, what factors should be considered when choosing tech stack for projects? Again, like first is um, what what language or what all. So this is basically the high level design. When you decide on the tech stack, you have to choose based on like what language can give you the exact like fulfills the exact requirement. For example, you have something that requires speed. So for speed, you will choose some language that, for example, C, C++ or Rust. You will choose. Its binaries are less. You have much more control. So there is no garbage collection. So based on the project, you should decide the tech stack. If you are more into programming for the hardware, you will go for C or C++. If you are more into the website or the backend side, you can choose for Java or Node or maybe Python as well. So based on the project, I think one should decide the tech stack. The second factor is the cost. The tech stack not only involves programming language, it has architecture related decisions. So you might, for example, you are using AWS and there are different types of instances that you can choose to serve your project on. So it can be a serverless project, it can be a GPU optimized server, it can be a CPU optimized one. So based on the cost, you can also decide that based on the latency, what you are looking for. Let's say if you want to serve to customers who are located specifically in India or to US, so based on that, you will decide what region you are going to cater to, what all CDN you are going to use. Then comes like if it is going to be a bigger project which will involve multiple engineers, you'll also see a programming languages that is common to more people or it is easier to learn as well. If you are writing something and you want to hire, the engineer should also be available when you need them. So choosing a programming language that is common also helps. Then you also can have a requirement on the timelines that you have to meet. Let's say if you have 1 month and you decide to go with a language that does not have a lot of engineers and requires everything to be handled by developer, it will take a lot of time. So there are languages and there are frameworks in those languages which can handle a lot of stuff that you don't want, and you don't want, or they are handled automatically through plugins, and you can mostly focus on the core logic part of the project. So I think these are the factors that can help you decide the tech stack for a project. Okay, so how can you kickstart your career considering the year of study you are in? Okay, I mean, can you explain this question? I could not.
Like the pace of learning a stack, considering the year you are in.
Okay, the year like in engineering year where like.
Yeah, engineering. Sorry,
Okay.
BTech.
Yeah, I graduated long back, so I have forgot all those terminology. But okay, so let's say if you are in final year, you are going for the placements. I would say mostly focus on the interview related stuff. Like if you want faster results and you don't have a lot of time, DSA top 100 DSA questions from lead code that will give you the maximum result if you are targeting the FANG related companies. If you are targeting service based companies, I think maintaining good percentage in the overall good percentage in your engineering degree and focusing on the aptitudes, quantitative, qualitative related aptitude, that would give you most result. If you are in third year, again, like you have started, if you have started AlgoDS, that is better. You can participate in a lot of contests. That, like earlier, there used to be Google Code Jam. I think this year it was discontinued. But there are others, like for Facebook, it's Hacker Cup. For competitions, if you are like serious, you can participate in CodeJeff contest, Code Forces contest. There are Lead Code weekly and bi-weekly contest as well. So, like I would encourage you to participate in the contest. That would give you good confidence to face any question in interview. Um, because there is a time limit associated as well, so you'll learn to solve problems fast in interviews. That is an important skill. Um, Based on if you want to join an SDE role, if you are more into networking and hacking and all those stuff, you can, like, apart from DSA, you can also participate in CTF contests, that is capture the flag contests. You can also look up on CTF time website. It has listing of all the questions and contests. For learning, I used to go on Pico CTF website. That is good for learning hacking related stuff, how to exploit binary, what are the exploits on web. So that is also a very interesting domain if you want to learn that. And yeah, if you are second or first year students and you are, like, you have decided on what kind of role you want to progress in, you can start contributing, or you can first go through the, like, if you are into open source, you can go through the GitHub projects which you are most interested in. You can look up the pull requests that are raised. You can see what kind of problems are there. There are a lot of pull requests that are not yet closed. You can start working on that, and that is how you can start your open source, like pursue your open source interest. And like side by side, if you can do Algo DS and participate in the contest, that will help in the long run, because by the time you reach in the final year, you will have enough problems under your belt that you can mostly tackle all the interview related questions. So yeah. So what are effective learning journeys and roadmaps in tech industry? Learning.
Tech industry means software roles, software development roles, SDE roles.
Okay, okay. Like, but what is, like, what do you mean by effective learning journey?
Like how we should design our roadmap starting from HTML or starting with a proper programming language. Like
Okay, okay. So, like, if you want to go in SDE role, like, not just, I would always suggest not to pick up a programming language, because since in college most of you learn about C or C++ and then Java. At least I learned about C and Java in my college itself. I was from electronics background, so language learning, you will see that if you know one language, it is fairly easy to understand the concepts in any other language. If you have decided on what kind of tech you want to be in, like, let's say I am in the OS side, I work with people who have industry experience of 17, 18 years as well, and they had they are even after switching, they are in similar type of domain. Like, someone, if he had embedded related experience, they have remained in embedded, although, like, basic, like, very few changes and advancement that come like in due course of time, they have upgraded their tech, but mostly they have remained in that itself. So I work on mostly on the multimedia layers of the operating system. So that is the expertise I will be looking for, the audio, video related technologies. Then there are people who are mostly in the multimedia, not multimedia, they are the graphic system, and they work on different types of graphics rendering engines, how to optimize it, and without using a lot of resources, since we are, like, on the hardware side we have a limited resources. On server side, you have, like, you can keep on adding resources whenever you need, you can remove the resources, but on hardware side, once you ship the equipment, it's done. Like, unless there is an app update, no hardware update, at least there is nothing. So they first decide what kind of roles they want to get in. Uh, like you may want to go in data science related stuff. Like you can go inside the backend related engineering where you will be handling the APIs, databases, latencies, all that stuff. Also scale. So once you have decided that, and you have also started working towards it, like made a couple of projects, like starting from small projects also, you can like target for those companies, like apply for those open roles there. Like what helped me was, since I was from electronics background and I had some experience working on microcontrollers and the single processor computers, like Raspberry Pi and all that. So uh, I had fair idea of what I'm getting into. But I have also worked into backend domain. Like in angel working, I was a backend engineer where I was handling the trade related part. So later on, I decided to switch that. So switching was not a problem, but since I had electronics background, I had learned about the media compression algorithms that we read in digital communication, then image processing. So yeah, I had some basic idea there, and I was leaning towards uh, hardware and optimization related stuff. So I decided to go in that. Uh, Based on like your experience, you also have a choice. Like after 5 6 years of experience in tech, you will have a choice of either going into like IC role, that is individual contributor role, or you can switch to the management role, like you can be a manager, engineering manager, etc. Both have like very good career progression, but like if you want to stay in the IC role, that is SDE, then like you will become senior engineer, then principal engineer. If you go inside like go towards the management role, you will become senior manager, and then VP roles. So based on what your interests are, you can like choose that. Yeah. Is it acceptable to be inactive in technical clubs if you have worked on personal projects to secure a good placement? Okay. Okay. Inactive in technical clubs as in participating or organizing. What is it?
Organizing.
Okay.
Organizing.
Okay. Okay. So organizing. Okay, that is actually a very good quality. Most of the companies that look for those kind of experience are into consulting domain, like McKinsey, Bain Company, Boston Consulting Groups. They pay really well, and like it is very hard to get into those companies as well. But those are the companies that look for the leadership roles for clubs, etc. For the technical ones, if you have enough projects, that should not matter. Uh, are high-paying internships the best measure of? I believe so. Yeah, high-paying internships are the best measure of internship quality. Uh, uh, like FANG at least pays really well for interns as well. There is a very blurred line between SDE one and intern. Like after 6 months, anyways, they become an SDE one. So yeah, I believe that high-paying internships are the best measure. In a competitive environment, what qualities make someone stand out to potential employers? Okay, so okay, so I believe that here you want to understand like what are the qualities that would make you or get you shortlisted by the HR. Is that correct, Amin?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay. So HRs only look for one thing, that will you be able to clear the interview or not. So if they think you have enough credentials and you can get through the interview rounds, they will select you. So if you put something like you scored some particular rank in some competition that was related to how you can clear the interview, you will be shortlisted. That's why if you participate in competitions, it helps to get shortlisted. Because HRs have to, like even the HRs have to show to their managers that how many interviews converted to successful offers and how many offers converted to actual joining from the candidates. So they would also always look for the maximum conversion that affects their performance. So yeah, they look for mostly the credentials that can get you selected in an interview. So if you are targeting FANG related ones, if you have some competition ranks, if you have solved some certain number of problems, you can mention that, and that helps HR or anyone who is shortlisting to help decide on your selection. Okay, so where can networking be leveraged to secure high-paying job opportunities? Okay, so for the companies, I believe you mean the big tech companies. So referral helps if you have already worked with the one who is referring you. So like in one instance, I think that can help you. Also, you can get an insight of how the interview procedure is. Sometimes, at least for the people I refer, I also tell who's the manager who is going to interview you, what kind of questions you can expect. But I can't actually tell exact problems because no one really knows what the interviewer will ask. But at least through networking you can get a fair idea of what that particular team is looking for, because for every job opening there is a requirement for a project of, or there has to be a certain deadline that is to be met. So based on that, if internal person is referring you, you will get a fair idea of what to expect in an interview as well. Apart from that, on networking side, you can get like what all resources were there, what is the what kind of work life you can expect, all that you can but for securing the high paying job, again you will have to clear the interview rounds, which is your own ability to crack the interviews. Yeah. Okay, so what are the key factors in determining salary? Okay, so like what I know about the salary negotiations that happen, the most important thing is how many offers do you have. That it is actually a nightmare for HRs, but for candidates it's a heaven to have multiple offers. Also, they will check from where you are getting those offers. If they are well-reputed companies, they have certain even the manager or hiring manager would want someone who is in demand. So like the current what is your current offer that you have in hand, where like what all companies have offered you a role, and then like how your interview went. So depending on how your interview went, you can also be down level or up level. So sometimes what happens, someone is giving an interview for SDE2 and they have performed really well. Their salary and everything is also like they also have offers. So if they see that you are fit for the next level role, they will give you next level role, which is a rare thing because corporates try to minimize the cost of hiring the resource. Also, it depends on like if the interview did not go so well, but they think there is an opening for SDE1, and you have that like you have all the like capabilities of SDE1, they'll offer you SDE1 role. So how your interview goes, that also defines what will be the salary structure that the HR will be offering you. Okay, for a good package, which is better, service companies or product companies, considering benefits like family insurance, gifts, okay, and stocks for freshers. So I believe both service companies and product companies give all these benefits. Like service companies, I'm not sure if they give stocks, but I believe yeah, like most of the companies would give insurance related stuff and some goodies every now and then. So yeah, it is always like if you want to work on new technologies, uh, like so service companies have that freedom because they work with a lot of clients. There are a lot of variety and teams in which you can work with. In product companies, it is a little stiff because let's say a product company has one core domain, it would stay in that. It will not venture into something totally wild. But service companies, since they cater to too many client companies, you can have exposure to a lot of other technologies. But the salary wise, I have seen that product companies pay better than service ones since product companies build everything from scratch. They are the ones who will be operating that. The code quality is also higher, and yeah, stocks are also. I have not seen service companies offering stocks, but product companies do have provision for employee stock options or RSUs, that is restricted stock units. So at least at Amazon, every SDE who joins will get some stocks that will start vesting after 1 year. So yeah, for good package, it is better for you to join product related companies. Yeah. Okay, how can non-CSE major secure high-paying job acquisition? Okay, so since I am electronics engineering graduate, so uh, I would say there is no like apart from the campus selections, if you are going for if you are applying from your own, there is no difference or like as long as you know the core concepts, you have enough credentials, they will give you a chance to appear for the interviews. In my team, I have uh, like a slightly more number of computer science graduates, but I still have for the device side engineers, we have like a lot of electronics engineers, which have like a lot of interesting projects and core stuff for electronics engineers. I have like I know people who are totally like different from different backgrounds, like civil engineer, mechanical engineer. They too are into computer science as long as they display or they are able to show that they have the required the knowledge, they are able to get the job. So that is never a problem. It's just that CSE students will be able to learn the same thing for the 4 years which they are going to interview for. Non-CSE will have to study extra stuff for this apart from their core subjects. So that is the only difference. But opportunity wise, at least for the FANG companies, they don't differentiate. Sometimes I have seen they don't even require a degree uh, to get the job. So like if someone is able to clear the interview, they will get the job. So yeah. What are the best strategies for career transition after college? Okay, what does this mean? I mean, like career transition after college.
Yeah. If someone got placed in a service based company through
Mm-hmm.
placement drives,
Mm-hmm.
and if they want to if they want to join a product based company or higher level company,
Mm-hmm.
so how did I do that?
Okay, okay, got it. So there are a lot of examples even in my team who are previously working in service-based companies, but they were lucky to get the project was good enough to teach them a lot of stuff that is actually asked in product companies interviews. Let's say someone is like since TCS whenever they hire a fresher, the candidate would have to go through training, and then they will be assigned to a project. And if the project is actually a good project in which they are able to learn low level design and all those stuff, and they also keep on practicing the DSA, they are able to get enough knowledge to crack the interview. So I think best strategy from a service based company, for example, it is if it is TCS, try to get into a project that has enough challenges for you, so that you will have enough experience. At least in Amazon, you'll be asked what were the times where you are able to demonstrate that you can solve a challenging problem. What was that challenging problem? So you should have enough examples in which you can demonstrate that you have the required skill set. So try to get into good projects, and like maybe after working for a couple of years, or maybe even for a couple of months, if you have enough experience on that project, you'll be able to crack interviews for product companies as well. So which company supports skill development for fresher? Okay, so at least at Amazon, we are expected, like if someone is fresher, they still know uh, a bit about computer science and how to implement a project. If you join service-based company as fresher, they will give enough opportunity. They have like campuses devoted for training. So service-based companies in that regard are better for skill development for freshers. If you are able to join a company, FANG company, and then you want to learn about new technologies, even they give you enough opportunity, but still they expect like the base level also to be good enough to execute a project. So both of them will give enough opportunity, but let's say TCS will also teach you about Java or C++ or C sharp, but like FANG company will not teach programming language as such, as far as I know. Okay, so
Okay.
hopefully I was able to answer your questions, and if someone has any question, they can ask.
If,
Yeah.
if anyone have further more doubts needed to be clear, you can ask. Either turn on your mic or type it in the chat. So, Albin Anthony asked, doesn't TCS give us training in the beginning?
Yeah, so TCS will give you training. There will be like dedicated 3 months just for training. It's like college camp, like extended college only. You'll have a lot of freshers with you, and whatever domain you choose, like if it is business intelligence, they'll train you in that domain. If it is some other domain, like they will make sure that you are trained in that domain from scratch. They don't expect anything. Even if you from computer science background, they'll teach you anything from scratch. So TCS will give those trainings.
Okay. Any more questions? I think it's done.
Yeah, okay. I see that there are no questions. So thanks everyone for joining, and it was pleasure talking to you all. Hopefully this was okay. Okay, there is one more question. I was going to wrap up, but okay. How should I look for internships? Again, the company websites always post internship related rules. If you are interested, for Amazon there is Amazon.jobs website. You can go look over there. And for other companies, big companies, they always maintain internship related job postings there. Just make sure that your resume is tailored to that particular job role. So let's say if you are applying for a backend role, you should demonstrate that you have enough experience in, or at least you have some experience in that. Like if not expert, obviously for intern, uh, you should be able to get shortlisted. If you are looking for data science related role, you should show your interest and required skill set. They will post what are the requirements and tailor your resume according to that instead of a general resume. Yeah, that should be yeah. So I think we have answered all the questions, and thank you for having me here. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Thanks a lot, Vivek, for your presence. Indeed, it was a great session with lots of new information and insights. I
Mhm.
hope everyone else in this meet feels the same. Thanks to all attendees. Let us know the feedback and join our community for more updates. Once again, thank you, Vivek.
Okay, yeah, bye.
Okay, bye. Now the session is over and you can leave.